Saturday from 10 to 6. It'll feature traditional and contemporary Tibetan performances, authentic cuisine, local vendors, and more. This sounds great. To learn all about it, go to NWTCA's Facebook page. And for you theater nerds out there, this Saturday marks the first performance of Dracula at the Lakewood Center for the Arts in Lake Oswego. The play adapts the famous novel with a 21st century take. This is perfect for those of you looking to mark the start of the fall season, but the center recommends children younger than 12 sit this one out. Tickets range from $30 to $42. Check out the Lakewood Center's website for more. And finally, rapper and Portland native Amine is bringing his Best Day Ever festival back to McMenamin's Edgefield this weekend. This is the festival's second year. This time around, you can expect performances from Amine, obviously. Also, Thundercat, Smino, I should say, Zach Fox, and more. It's going to be a great show out there. For details and ticket prices, check out bestdayeverfest.com. And for more weekend inspiration, check out the 8 Things to Do article up each week on KGW.com.
Well, someone in the Eugene area is now $8.1 million richer. This after winning the August 16th Megabucks drawing. Now, that ticket was sold at Alvador Gas and Store in Lane County. That store gets an $81,000 bonus check for selling that winning ticket, and they also plan to expand their business using that money. The owners told the Oregon Lottery, quote, "It's something I never expected because nothing like this happens here. Our community is so excited for us." And coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the very latest on the arrest of the suspected shooter in this week's assassination of Charlie Kirk.
We're also covering several false threats at reported universities across the country, with several schools going into lockdown or canceling classes altogether. Again, the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise is coming up in just 3 minutes, so keep it right here on KGW Plus.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We
Commuter coming up on 7:59 on your Friday morning drive. A live look at various freeway cameras here, and they look a lot better now than they did yesterday this time. We had a mess of a Thursday commute, and today is completely the opposite. That said, I found a couple slow spots. That's northbound I-5, just north of the 205 interchange as you roll northward from Tualatin up towards Bridgeport Village. So we're a little slow there, but again, the drive-in from Wilsonville about 20 minutes, and the drive-in from the other side of town 14 minutes right now gets you south from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Rod?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Chris. We have low clouds again to start our day. So far, it's been mainly dry. There's the Salem sky camera, and Portland looking the same. Early morning temps have been sitting right about 60. In fact, that's where PDX is. I believe we will get the sun today. We'll start to look for some sun at noon. We get up to about 74. Later today, we have some sun. Tomorrow, 82. So a nice Friday night, a nice Saturday. And then Sunday, scattered showers right from the get-go. Sunday's high only 69.
We begin here at 8 o'clock with continuing coverage of this morning's breaking news in Utah. Law enforcement arrested the suspected shooter in this week's assassination of Charlie Kirk. The arrest happened after police released these images of the suspect just yesterday. Charlie Kirk was killed while speaking Wednesday at Utah Valley University. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm Corey Johnson. That suspect has now been identified by officials as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a Utah resident. While appearing on Fox News, President Donald Trump said, quote, "I think with a high degree of certainty we have him in custody. Everybody did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job." Utah Governor Cox said during a press conference an hour ago that a family member of Robinson reached out to a family friend last night. That family friend then contacted a local sheriff's office with information that Robinson had either confessed or implied that he had carried out Wednesday's shooting.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had.
Now, Robinson was then arrested after being turned into police.
Tributes for Charlie Kirk are happening all across the country and here locally. In Vancouver, people came to Esther Short Park for a vigil. They lit candles for the 31-year-old co-founder of Turning Point USA.
And we'll continue to cover this story as we learn more details. You can follow the latest at KGW.com and right here on our free streaming TV app, KGW+.
All right, quick break from our headlines here this morning for a look outside. Pioneer Courthouse Square Skycam shows us the bricks on this Friday morning. Rod Hill standing by in the Weather Center with a look at our Friday forecast.
Good morning. Today starts off like yesterday. Yesterday didn't clear for the most part. Today should clear out, eventually coast and valley. Chinookwas Casino Resort in Lincoln City. You got some folks walking on the beach, 57 degrees, no wind. This is another light wind day overall. Here's downtown Portland. We're at 60. We have a northwest wind at 7. So your day moving forward, developing sunshine, 66 degrees at noon, as early as that. Later today, certainly I think it will be sunny, 74. Should be a nice Friday evening for you. Coming up, your 7-day is still tracking scattered shower activity starting early Sunday morning, and we'll get more into that coming up in just a bit. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's pick it up with a look at your freeway drive. And as bad as yesterday's commute was, today is the opposite. We do have a couple slow spots out there, but generally our freeway drive for this Friday morning is looking really, really good. We'll pick you up down in Tualatin. I-5 northbound traffic running a little thick as you get north of the 205 interchange up past Bridgeport Village. Our speed sensors suggest about 25 miles an hour or so there. Meanwhile, the drive in from the west side also a little slow, 21 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Meanwhile, there's a live look again on the south side of town and the I-5 drive through North Portland. Yesterday, we were lined up deep into the morning commute out past Main Street. That is not the case this morning. Right now, you're driving from Vancouver 13 minutes or less. Corey?
All right, thanks, Chris. Now we're tracking some breaking news right now out of southeast Portland. A shooting has closed southeast 17th near McLaughlin Boulevard. Our photographer is live at the scene right now. Now we've reached out to Portland police for more information on that shooting, and we are waiting to hear back.
One of our other big local stories this morning, hundreds of Vancouver school district workers could soon walk off the job after they overwhelmingly approved a strike last night.
That's right. If those workers hit the picket lines, it could close schools for more than 20,000 students. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from Vancouver Public Schools district headquarters. So Thomas, when exactly could that strike begin?
Well, guys, it's not clear yet, though we know it won't begin today. Instead, negotiations will continue between the district and those workers like para-educators and technology specialists. And they've been bargaining for quite some time, all the way since last April, as how long those negotiations have taken place. Previously, these union members' contract actually expired at the end of August. And there's a couple of things they're looking for, namely higher pay and increased staffing. They tell me it's really difficult to retain staff at their current pay, which means there's not always enough paraeducators and other staff members to adequately look after kids in schools.
We don't have enough supervision on the playground. Sometimes we have 2 paraeducators for 4 grades. Accidents happen. We had some pretty severe accidents that happened at our school, and that is a #1 priority of a lot of the instructional paras that do recess duty is safety.
In a statement to families, Vancouver Public Schools says they remain hopeful that an agreement can be reached and that a strike will eventually not be needed. They add they wish they had an agreement, but are in a tricky spot here because school funding has not kept up with the pace of cost of running schools. There is a silver lining here in Vancouver. The school district tells us that the union will give them assurances of when a strike will happen if they do reach that point. That helps the district plan for school closures. It also helps families plan for possibilities of missing school. Drew, Corey.
All right, Thomas Schultz live in Vancouver for us. Thank you. Well, students in the Evergreen School District are expected to return to classes today. This after the union representing classified workers voted to ratify a new deal with the district. That ratification puts an end to a walkout that has delayed the start of the school year for more than 2 weeks now. The district says it'll release more information soon about the plan to make up those 12 missed school days.
Also this morning, the teacher strike in Le Center appears to be over after their union and the Le Center School District reached a tentative agreement yesterday. Le Center teachers have been on strike since last Wednesday. They're going to meet today to vote on this new contract offer, so that means no school again today. But assuming this deal is ratified, Le Center kids will be back in the classroom on Monday. A teacher and another staff member at a Beaverton preschool have joined a lawsuit against the Trump administration that aims to keep immigration enforcement away from schools.
That's right. The lawsuit follows an incident in July when ICE agents detained a man while he was trying to drop his child off at school. Dashcam video from that incident showed ICE agents confront the man, then break his car window. They arrested him as he dropped off his son at Guidepost Montessori Preschool. The incident sparked outrage among teachers who say it's exactly what they want to avoid. Now, members of the Beaverton preschool community, along with 2 national teacher unions, have joined a federal lawsuit against the Trump administration, seeking to protect schools alongside churches and places of worship from immigration enforcement.
This is beyond just the immigrant communities. It's about everybody's safety, everybody's families.
For nearly 3 decades, immigration agents avoided sensitive locations, but that has changed under the Trump administration. Attorneys argue the shift has left children and teachers living in fear, with some students even staying home. The Department of Homeland Security says arrests near schools are rare and do require special approval.
Oregon Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley are joining 16 other senators urging a federal court to bar President Trump from deploying military troops to Los Angeles. They're backing a lawsuit filed by California Governor Gavin Newsom after President Trump deployed thousands of National Guard troops in Southern California. In a statement, Senator Merkley said, quote, "Trump's response to protests in California and threats to send troops to Portland are purely authoritarian. Outrageous abuses," he says, "of power designed to raise tensions." Last week, President Trump talked about sending the National Guard here to Portland during a discussion about what cities he thought needed support from federal troops.
And if you're in Multnomah County, you may remember getting a test alert in the last month. It was meant as a test of the county's emergency warning system after a series of natural disasters, including the deadly flooding in Texas and wildfires in California. Now we're getting a look at the results of that testing. Surveys show 91% of recipients report they were within the county when they received that alert, meaning there was effective localization. The alert worked across different devices in more than 35 cell phone carriers. That report also found two primary reasons for people not receiving it were phone settings that allow them to opt out of certain alerts or having do not disturb settings on without any override.
All right, let's take a live look outside this morning from our Providence Park sky cam. There you see it is finally daytime, Rod. It felt like we spent most of today's show in the dark, but there you've got your daylight shot from Providence Park. Bigger news about the park is the fact that the Timbers are back in action there tomorrow night. So I don't know if you have a brief word on what the weather will be like during that Saturday night game.
Should be dry, kind of increasing clouds, partly cloudy over the stadium, but dry. Don't see much wind. Should be really nice out. Tomorrow we still think we hit 80 for a high, so that would put the I'm so horrible on my soccer terminology. When they start that match, it's going to be in the 70s.
Kickoff.
They do call it a kickoff.
Yeah.
All right. For some reason, I was thinking that sounds too simple. Here's a look at clear skies over Mount Hood. Not much snow left up there this time of the year, 53. So we have low clouds and we have clear skies up high. Here are the low clouds from the Chehalem tasting room in Sherwood, 59. The clouds look to be just as solid as they were 24 hours ago. Yesterday, the clouds did not clear. Today, I think they will. 59 in Kelso, 60 in Salem. It is sunny outside of some foggy areas when you get east of the Cascades. Bend, 55 this morning. Baker City also 55 degrees. Futurecast 1 o'clock, clearing us out of the clouds here on the west side. Showing the only rain chance today at all in Oregon is out toward the Blue Mountains, and that's probably going to be spotty action. Here's tomorrow. Everybody's dry. Everybody has sunshine, increasing clouds later in the day. And then by 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, we're already seeing waves of shower activity coming through. And some of the shower activity showing up as heavy convection, meaning it's a pretty good downpour. The shower activity continues through the day. Here's 5 o'clock. Right now, it looks like the rain showers will end Sunday overnight. We'll wake up Monday morning and it'll be dry. This afternoon with sun developing, 60s at the coast, 70s up and down the valley, mainly 70s out east. Most of you will be dry today. Again, that spotty shower chance out near the Blues. Tomorrow, 82, great day, and then Sunday, the showery weather, 69, a dry Monday, and then we start warming up into the 80s again, it looks like, on Tuesday. That's your forecast. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's pick it up on the east side. I-205 traffic zipping along here north of Sunnyside. Excuse me, that is the wrong side of town. Don't look at this. Let me switch gears. Look at this. This is I-205 north of Sunnyside, rolling up towards Johnson Creek Boulevard. That drive is running a little thick. I'm working hard to find the slow spots out there this morning because there aren't many. So with that in mind, here's a quick look at your drive times. The inbound Highway 26 commute coming from Hillsborough to downtown, 21 minutes. You can see we're pretty close to the speed limit drive-in from Troutdale. Northbound from Wilsonville, you hit some slowing around the 205 interchange. And the drive out of Clark County, this is a little misleading because most of that congestion is actually south of Rosa Park. So getting over the Columbia on I-5 or I-205, we're in fine shape this morning, guys.
All right, thank you, Chris.
And those teachers and those students did their job and took into account what they've learned, and it kept them safe.
New developments after this week's high school shooting in Colorado. Coming up here on Sunrise, what investigators are revealing about the student who opened fire and the response that they say kept students safe. Plus,
having a fruitful day.
And having a fruitful day, as you just heard her say, also means lowering food insecurity, one fruit at a time. Coming up, how one Portland project is turning fruit into hope.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
A local nonprofit is making an effort to help with food insecurity. The Portland Fruit Tree Project. They harvest fruit from trees all around town before it goes bad, and then they donate the fruit to local food pantries.
That's right. KGW's Jake Holter spoke to some of those people who were behind that mission.
Volunteers will offer their time to pick hundreds of pounds of fruit. In Thursday's case, pears.
We're having a fruitful day.
Thursday morning, a group of volunteers gathered in the backyard of a Portland home to pick pears from a tree.
Fresh food is really not just nutritious and good for you, it makes you happier, it connects you to your culture, it makes you happy in a way that a canned food doesn't or a processed food doesn't.
Heather Keisler-Forens is the executive director of the Portland Fruit Tree Project. She says the project was created around 20 years ago after a large amount of fruit were dropping and rotting in North and Northeast Portland.
You know, we see that we have a distribution problem with fruit and food in our country. We don't have a lack of food in our country, mostly true globally as well. So we are happy to be a small part of that distribution.
Last year, Keisler-Forens says they completed over 100 harvests, totaling more than 15,000 pounds of fruit. And this year is outpacing that.
We've worked really hard this year, as our pantry partners are telling us they're seeing 30 to 90% reductions in funding for fresh food, which of course is really important for health and mental health. So we have really hit the streets trying to figure out how to get as much fruit out of our urban area as we can.
The nonprofit does outreach on social media and at community events to find volunteers and the trees to harvest from, like Adam Bartling's, which the Portland Fruit Tree Project has picked from 3 years in a row now.
You watch this tree grow all season and all this fruity nutrition dangling from it, going to waste and sitting on the ground and rotting, and you know, it feels a lot better to watch it get taken away to someone who will hopefully use it.
The fruit is taken to food pantries like Lift Urban Portland.
Getting fresh fruit in bulk is really exciting because then we know that it's a really good quality product that we're able to give to our neighbors. So even though it's free food, we give high quality food.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
All right. Before we get to Rod's weather forecast, I was just thinking, if you could have one fruit and only one fruit for the rest of your life, you've got about 6 seconds to think about this.
Oh, easy.
What fruit would you take with you moving forward?
Grapes.
Great, you're a grape girl.
Yes, I love grapes.
I'm gonna go kiwi, man. I love the kiwi.
What? Kiwi?
It's fantastic, and it's pretty. It's a pretty fruit. You know, you take that skin off,
look at it.
really pretty, and then you eat it. It's got the little seed things in it.
I wonder.
It's got
honestly,
the green.
I don't know how many times that question's been asked of someone in the history of the world, but how many times has someone come back and responded with kiwi?
Never.
Well, here's
oh, sorry. Sorry.
Here's the deal. Now, maybe I misspoke, but I gave the answer because I feel like I don't have kiwi that often. But when I do, I feel like it's a real treat. Like, this is fancy. Like, we're fancying up here.
Okay.
Getting kiwi.
Hey, it's a good answer. Look what it did. It brought about all this conversation.
What about you? We got to know
I
now.
don't eat fruit.
I'm sorry, what?
Blueberries, how about it?
Okay.
Supporting my local Oregon blueberry farmers.
Antioxidants.
Yeah,
we
it
love
makes your
that.
brain good, actually.
Yes.
It's great brain food.
Good stuff.
The producer just told me, Rod, you're out of time to do the weather forecast. Here we go. Hey, by the way, in my little sticky note here, it was 69 yesterday at PDX, a day that never cleared. Remember, we thought, oh, I'm not sure we're going to do this, and we didn't. The last time that we did not hit 70 was a rainy day on June 21st. That day was only 57. So if you thought, I'm not used to being this cool in the afternoon, that's the answer why. Now we have morning, they're not really showing up well in this infrared satellite picture, but we have solid clouds coasting valley again this morning. Today they will clear out. I'm showing you this wide view because it's this strip of cloudiness that will come in late tomorrow and then give us the scattered shower forecast that is still a likelihood for your Sunday. There are a few showers out toward Lewiston. You can see in the kind of the corner of Washington over into Idaho this morning. That's it. We're mainly dry. Here's the Vancouver waterfront camera from the Springs at the waterfront, looking at the I-5 bridge and A lot of the little dots there are fishing boats out on the Columbia again. Been a lot of people fishing this week. 60 degrees is the temperature outside right now. Again, we're cloudy up in Kelso, 59. You generally have sunny areas once you get east of the Cascades, and it's clear up at Timberline right now. Out in Pendleton, 59 is your current number. So Futurecast 1 o'clock this afternoon. There they go. So we expect to see some clearing today. We expect sunshine tomorrow. We get the clouds tomorrow overnight, and bam, there it is. Scattered showers coming in first thing Sunday morning. And notice the bright colors. So this is convective activity with some heavier rain rates. And the scattered shower machine looks like it keeps going throughout the day. So scattered makes it really tough to pinpoint who's going to get what. Obviously, if you get a downpour. If you get 2, then you're probably going to have a 1/4 inch of rain. But if you somehow don't get any downpours and you just have a little tease of rain here and there, you could have as little as about 2/100ths of an inch. Modeling is all over the place on this, so don't overly ingest these numbers. But notice the potential is there in central eastern Oregon to get maybe more than 3/10 of an inch of rain. So we expect afternoon sunshine today. Corvallis 78, expecting to get some decent sun. Portland 74, 82 tomorrow, the showery weather on Sunday. And then after that, we go on a nice stretch of weather next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, I will ask. Chris, your favorite fruit?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
How about pineapple?
Ooh, pineapple. Yes. Yeah.
On pizza? Oh, I don't know. All right, let's get you out the door real quick. A quick look at the drive on the west side. Inbound Sunset, little thick still, climbing the hill up towards Sylvan. Normal slow and go action there, but not bad. To the south side we go. This is I-5 through the 205 interchange in Tualatin. For perspective at home, this ramp here, that's the ramp of 205 south to I-5 south. So over here is your northbound I-5 drive. And again, that's getting better than it was just a few minutes ago. We've got that whittled down to 19 minutes in from Wilsonville. 19 minutes also your drive in from Hillsborough. So far, guys, our Friday morning commute has been much kinder to us than the Thursday morning drive. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Chris.
The students and the staff at the school were amazing. They did their job, they did it well, and lives were saved yesterday because of the actions they took during their lockdown drill.
Officials detail how students and staff reacted during the Evergreen High School shooting in Colorado, what we're learning about their response, and the suspect is still ahead on Sunrise.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We have new details this morning on the Colorado school shooting this week that left 2 students in critical condition. The student who shot them also turned the gun on himself. Here's Dana Griffin with the latest.
Tonight, Colorado authorities identifying 16-year-old Desmond Hawley as the student who opened fire at Evergreen High School using a revolver. Investigators did not say where the shooter got the gun, but said he was radicalized by an extremist network.
He tried to find new targets, and he He came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids.
They say he continued to reload as he shot out windows and at lockers. Tonight, officials say 2 students remain in critical condition. Authorities say they have obtained search warrants for his home, phone, and locker, and add that his parents are cooperating with the investigation.
And those teachers and those students did their job and took into account what they've learned, and it kept them safe.
Investigators say the motive for the shooting remains unclear. Because of the significant cleanup, Evergreen High will remain closed this week.
Now to your morning rush. Opening statements began Thursday in the trial of a man accused of trying to assassinate the president at a golf course in Florida a year ago. The defendant, Ryan Wesley Ruth, is representing himself in federal court. If Ruth is convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Multiple historically black colleges and universities in several states were put on lockdown Thursday due to threats. Those lockdowns have since been lifted, but we still don't know the details of the threats. House GOP leaders are preparing to vote next week on a temporary spending bill. Republican leaders want to keep the government open through November 20th. They'll need to pass a bill before September 30th to avoid a government shutdown. And OpenAI has reached a tentative deal to rework its partnership with Microsoft. The 2 companies signed a non-binding memorandum, an agreement in principle that isn't legally final. That move clears the way for OpenAI to restructure as a public benefit corporation. Microsoft and OpenAI are still working out the final contract. And that's your morning rush.
Here's one of the stories we're covering for you in our next half hour of Sunrise. A Clark County man is looking to get released from prison decades early after he was convicted of trying to hire people to kill his ex-wife. Also at 8:30, we're talking retirement savings. Ready for this question, Corey?
Yes.
How much money is a good amount of money to stop working for money so you can retire with enough money?
Ooh, I don't know, but I want to know.
All right, if you're following that question, we'll bring you an answer when Sunrise continues.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is looking for a man who's accused of stabbing his mother. So here's a look at the man. Investigators say 30-year-old Miguel Bravo stabbed his mom early yesterday morning at the Oaks Mobile and RV Park in Woodland and then took off. So Bravo is considered armed and dangerous. Deputies say if you see him, call 911. Rod Hill in the Weather Center. Let's talk about that Friday forecast.
Yeah, well, we're starting off cloudy, and if you think back yesterday, we looked like this, and then we never changed the look. But I think we will be getting sunshine developing this afternoon on this Friday. State Capitol live in Salem, 60 degrees is the number. There's downtown Portland, a similar cloudy scene, and a similar temperature of 60. We'll start to look for sun breaks as early as the noon hour. Eventually this afternoon, I really believe we will all clear out, and I have today's high at 74. Here's the weekend. Tomorrow looks great. I mean, tonight looks great. Tomorrow looks great. Tomorrow night will be dry. Saturday side 82. You wake up Sunday morning, scattered showers. Could be scattered heavy showers potentially that continue throughout the day. And then starting Monday, we're on a dry run of weather.
We begin at 8:30 with continuing coverage of this morning's breaking news out of Utah. Law enforcement has arrested the suspected shooter in this week's assassination of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. They identified him as 22-year-old Utah resident Tyler Robinson. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm Corey Johnson. Charlie Kirk was killed while speaking Wednesday at Utah Valley University. Utah Governor Cox said during a press conference this morning that a family member of Robinson reached out to a family friend last night. That family friend then contacted a local sheriff's office with information that Robinson had either confessed or implied that he had carried out Wednesday's shooting. Robinson was then arrested after being turned into police.
I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable.
Now, this mugshot of Robinson was released earlier this morning. According to authorities, Robinson had expressed opposition to Kirk's viewpoints. He engraved messages on the bullets with one reading, quote, "Hey, fascist catch." As of right now, investigators do believe Robinson acted alone.
All right, we also have some local news headlines to get to this morning, but first we're going to check in with Rod Hill in the Weather Center for today's forecast.
And look, we're starting to see, good morning to you by the way, the first signs of blue on any of the cameras that I've been looking at here on the west side of our state. So that's Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Yesterday we did not clear. Today I think we will. Now sometimes these early clearing spots can be a bit of fool's gold, but today I'll take that as positive signs that we are on track with our forecast to get afternoon sunshine. Rose City, very locked in of cloud cover, currently at 60 degrees. We'll start to look for some sunshine as early as noon and then eventually just see the clouds go. 74, the expected high. It's mainly a dry Friday. We've had all the thunderstorm activity this week east of the Cascades. Today, maybe some spotty showers out near the Blues. You folks in Central Oregon will be dry for the first time with no storm chance in quite some time. Madras 79. Sun River has morning fog, but we'll get sun. And up to about 73. General west winds in the gorge again today. The Dalles up to about 80, reporting some hazy sunshine right now. And again, expected to clear out here in the valley and along the coast, 70s and 60s. Here's the 7-day. So if you have plans tonight, I would expect it to be mainly clear this evening. 74 today's high. Tomorrow, 82. Could be some early patches of fog, otherwise sunshine to increasing cloudiness later in the day. Then showers come in overnight into Sunday morning. This will be scattered showery activity that could include some heavier downpours mixed in. 69 on Sunday. That ends Sunday night. Monday we wake up, it's dry. We get clearing skies during the day. Then we're off and running with what could be several days of at least near 80-degree temperatures and sun next week. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's pick it up with a live look at the drive on the Sunset. Highway 26 out near the Sylvan Hill. The westbound drive is actually a little slow, cresting the hill and then rolling down towards 217. Of course, the uphill inbound drive is always a little slow this time of the morning. Door number 2 actually gives us a different vantage point from North Portland. I-5 at the Fremont Bridge. There's your traffic rolling southbound towards the top deck there. We're actually moving along pretty well for a Friday morning commute. We haven't really had any major freeway trouble, and the drive times are mostly still in green. We got a little slowing on the Sunset. 20 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough. And the I-5 drive, 11 minutes in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. That is a whole lot better than it was yesterday at this time. Corey.
Thanks, Chris. Well, in national news this morning, at least 6 historically black colleges locked down campuses, canceled classes, or ordered students to shelter in place after receiving credible threats of violence yesterday. Those threats turning out to be hoaxes, according to the FBI.
And many other universities, including the U.S. Naval Academy and the DNC headquarters in Washington, D.C., also reported similar threats. NBC's Ryan Nobles brings us the latest.
This morning, a string of violent threats putting universities nationwide on edge.
Attention. Lockdown. Lockdown.
Alarms ringing at the U.S. Naval Academy in Maryland, alerting the base to shelter in place.
All personnel are directed to lockdown. Seek cover and concealment immediately.
A source telling NBC News a former midshipman who'd been thrown out of the academy made anonymous threats on social media from his home, but used an online address that made it look like the danger was coming from within the base. Officials ordering a lockdown out of an abundance of caution. The source also telling NBC News a midshipman had been shot during the shelter in place after mistaking a member of law enforcement for a threat and hitting him with a training weapon.
Will be an ongoing challenge, not just at the Naval Academy, but to political leadership and in the workplace.
Hours earlier in Washington, D.C., Capitol Police responding to a bomb threat at the DNC headquarters. No explosives were found. But the threat, a sign of the growing tension surrounding politically driven violence in the country. These incidents echoed in schools across the nation Thursday. At least 6 HBCUs targeted by what the FBI described as hoax threat calls. At UMass Boston, unconfirmed reports of shots fired near a residence hall, resulting in a campus-wide lockdown.
Oh.
A large police presence seen swarming the university.
It's so scary. Like, you never would think that something like this would happen.
Authorities soon giving the university an all clear. The school's chancellor later writing in a letter, no evidence of any gunfire has been found. Now, an urgent warning to those on campuses nationwide to stay vigilant.
Listen to your alerts, pay attention to them, take them seriously until you're told it's all clear.
Well, a Clark County man convicted of trying to hire people to kill his ex-wife is trying to get out of prison decades early. In 2008, a judge sentenced Dino Constance to more than 50 years in prison for hiring 3 men to murder his now ex-wife. Yesterday, he went before the state's Clemency and Pardons Board, telling board members he didn't do anything wrong and he should be released. His wife at the time ended up not being heard. She pleaded with the board to keep Constance locked up.
I do not want to spend the rest of my life living in fear that he's lurking around the corner waiting for me. And there's no way that his hatred for me and needing retribution has changed in the 18 years that he's been in prison.
Now, the board did recommend Constance to not be released. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson will have the final say.
All right, take a look at this man on your screen. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is looking for this man who allegedly stabbed his mother. Investigators say 30-year-old Miguel Bravo stabbed his mom early yesterday morning at the Oaks Mobile and RV Park in Woodland and then took off. His mom was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The Sheriff's Office says Bravo drove off in that white car you see on your screen, a 2005 Acura. They also say he's considered armed and dangerous.
And police in Gresham are hoping to find the man who they believe burglarized City Hall last weekend. These photos right there on your screen were taken from a surveillance camera. Investigators say he broke into multiple offices early Saturday morning, targeting electronics and city credit cards. While the thief made off with some items, police say they found much of the stolen property a few blocks away. Authorities also confirmed no critical city systems or data were compromised.
Yesterday marked 24 years since the September 11th attacks on the U.S. that killed nearly 3,000 people. Portland firefighters held moments of silence yesterday at stations around the city, along with a ceremony to honor the lives that were lost. Portland Fire also hosted their annual 9/11 blood drive.
I can't imagine the things that the hospital workers went through on that day, what the people went through, and how much blood the hospital workers had to come up with on that day.
See the Portland fireboat here on the Willamette. It was also part of yesterday's 9/11 ceremony. By the way, if you missed the blood drive but would still like to donate, you can find more information on the Red Cross website. Over in Vancouver, the Community Military Appreciation Committee also hosted a 9/11 Patriot Day ceremony right alongside local police and firefighters. The ceremony also included a moment of silence, a presentation by the Vancouver Fire Honor Guard, and a wreath-laying ceremony with the dove release. Quick look outside now from our Capitol Skycam. Capitol building there in Salem. Pretty skies on this Friday morning. Dry skies, Corey Johnson. Rod's going to join us with another look at the forecast in a moment, but right now we've got Chris McGinnis standing by with another traffic update.
And it has been a nice morning commute. I mean, if I can say that, nicer than yesterday. Yesterday we were stacked up all directions heading into town. Not the case this morning. Here we go live over at the Fremont Bridge. I-5 traffic zipping right along. Here's Highway 26 climbing the hill from 217 up towards Sylvan. That's a little slow, but again, not that that's all that unusual for this hour of a Friday morning commute. And a quick check at the Banfield. It's been a little while since we checked on Interstate 84, just to let you know we're still watching it. And it's still zipping along just fine. So with that in mind, here's a look at your drive times. I-84 right now, case in point, 18 minutes to get in from Troutdale. So that's pretty close to a speed limit commute there. Inbound Sunset, 21 minutes from Hillsborough. And last but not least, the drive across the Columbia. So it does show some slowing here, but really that's through North Portland. So getting out of Vancouver on either I-5 or I-205 is wide open right now, guys.
All right, thank you, Chris. Question for you on this Friday morning. How much do you need to retire comfortably? It's $1 million question on this Friday morning. Coming up, we're going to hear from an expert who explains how much you need to set yourself up for life and, again, live that retired life comfortably.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and we hope you've been joining us for The Story each weeknight at 6:30. If you've got a story idea of your own, email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, we're talking retirement savings on this Friday morning because I think a lot of people get to this point of the work week and realize I've had enough.
Yes.
I'd like to think about retiring. Northwestern Mutual conducted a study that found the average American believes they'll need $1.25 million to retire comfortably.
And reporter Jen Sullivan has more details on that, as well as how much we should try to put away each and every single year. Spoiler alert, it's a lot.
The cost of living continues to rise, and that means you'll need more money for retirement. But when should you start saving, and just how much do you need?
There's really no such thing as too early.
Samuel Taub is an investing writer for NerdWallet. Earlier this year, they conducted a survey and found 39% of Americans said not having enough saved for retirement was a financial concern. The most common types of retirement accounts are an IRA, which is controlled by you, or a 401k, which is sponsored by your employer, and many companies will match what you put in.
IRAs typically don't cost anything to open. Even contributing a small amount if you're fresh out of college and waiting tables can still make a big difference down the line.
Here's how much Fidelity Investment suggests you have in savings. By 30, you should have 1 times your salary, and it goes up by age. By 67, you should have 10 times your salary in a retirement account. But a lot depends on where you live and your lifestyle.
If you're living in a high cost of living or even medium cost of living area, that number may be north of $1 million.
Go Banking Rates recently broke down how much you need to retire wealthy. In popular retirement communities like Prescott, Arizona, you need just over $1.8 million to retire for 20 years. In Naples, Florida, you need just under that. Other ways to grow your retirement savings is investing in the market or even cryptocurrencies.
Once you get older and closer to retirement, the general consensus is that you're supposed to shift your portfolio into safer assets like a heavier bond allocation in order to preserve your money against the possibility of a downturn.
A financial advisor can help you reach your retirement goals. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Drew, you go first.
Okay, we were talking about our retirement stories. I have to give credit to an engineer who worked here at the station, Sean McCabe.
He retired when he was 60, I think.
Yeah, so the man's pretty smart, knows what he's doing. We've worked together since the early 2000s. I think we started working together in the year 2000, and he came over to my desk. I was only about 27 at the time, and he's like, "Did you set up your 401k?" I was like, "Huh? Did you set up your 401k yet?" And I'm like, "No." He goes, "What are you waiting for? You got to do it." And so he got the ball right. Came next week, he follows up, "Did you do it yet?" And finally, I just caved and I did it. And I'm obviously grateful today that he got me up rolling on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean McCabe. Engineer Sean McCabe.
I will say, we had Todd Pisarcik on our show some years back. He's with Momentous Wealth Management, a local financial firm. And Todd said the number one thing that people do that's a mistake. Let's say your employer says, "We're going to match 50% of 6%. So you put 6% to get the match. But he said that's the mistake. You need to put more than 6%. Even if your company's not going to match more, you should be closer to 10% at least, if you can, of your paycheck.
So there's a maximum amount you can put in each year, according to the government. But and if you can get there, though, go for it.
Yeah. Retirement, by golly, I'm going to retire someday. And I'm excited about it. Here's a look at our satellite picture. We got these clouds offshore. That's with the front that's coming in into early Sunday morning. Still likely rain in the area, but it's tweaked a little bit, and we'll get you into that in just a second. I do want to point out it's mainly a dry day on this Friday across all of Oregon. There's a spotty shower threat out near the Blues, and that's it. We do have, for the most part, solid clouds up and down the valley and cloud cover at the coast this morning to start, but today we think we will clear out. It is clear up top. Here's Timberline, not a cloud in the sky, literally, right? 56 degrees, so nice and pretty mild up there with no wind on this Friday morning. Now down low, here are the clouds. Well, that's a great dark look from the Wells Fargo building looking south down to Willamette. A little brighter on this camera, Iris, looking we're now looking off to the west from the Vancouver waterfront, the springs at the waterfront. You see some big tankers out there along the Columbia River. That's a railroad crossing bridge. 60 degrees is the temperature in Vancouver and out at PDX, by the way, and Salem. 64 out in the Dalles, getting some early morning sun, and most areas out east are getting some sun as well. It's 59 out in Pendleton at the Sour. Okay, here is the forecast with our Futurecast model. Again, maybe a spotty shower out in the Blues today. Otherwise, we're dry, and we have afternoon sunshine coming. Tomorrow looks fantastic. Maybe some early morning fog, otherwise sun. We warm it up. We have increasing clouds later in the day, but we stay dry for your Friday evening plans. If you're going to Providence Park to see the Timbers, should be in good shape. Here's Futurecast. This is Sunday morning. Already showers have pushed inland all the way to the Cascades in the 7 o'clock hour. Notice the bright colors. This is heavy downpour activity, but it is scattered. So that makes it difficult to pinpoint if it's going to be a really wet day where you are or if you're going to somehow kind of dodge the showers. Modeling is not really picking up on this well. It is showing that downpours in central and eastern Oregon have the potential to get more than 0.3 of an inch of rain. So today, with the clearing taking place, we'll warm up into the 70s. It shows you folks in Salem at 76, Portland 74, 82, the showers on Sunday, then a dry run starting next week. It is birthday time. We have a pretty good list today, and we have a couple of one-year-olds. We have Gracie, who is 1 today, behind the glasses with a hat, really cute. Happy birthday to you. Violet, another beautiful picture. 1 today, up in Vancouver, but your family's excited. Here's Cannon, 9 today. Happy birthday to you. Last year of single digits. Here's Savannah, now double digits, 10 years old in Silverton. Happy birthday to you. Jackson is 12. Hope you have a great fun day on this Friday. And also celebrating a Stephanie, 53, in Newburgh. Happy birthday to you. Great family photo, it looks like. Ken, 75, in Rochester. Happy birthday to you. And we have Ida, who didn't send us a picture, but Ida's 100 years old today, so happy birthday to you. So happy we can celebrate with you. Send us your photos to birthdays@kgw.com, and we will do just that. And when you get to be 100, by golly, we'll clap. Here's Chris.
By golly, by then, hopefully we'll be able to afford to retire. All right, hopefully we didn't jinx this, but we've got some trouble now on the west side. Highway 26 westbound. ODOT is actually calling this a disabled vehicle, but there's a lot of emergency personnel on the scene here. This is out near approaching, it's between 217 and Cedar Hills Boulevard westbound. It looks like at least one lane is blocked right now, and as we give you a different perspective, you can see that lineup is really starting to build now on 26 westbound. Again, this is out at 217. There's your westbound commute, and the traffic is backing up towards the Sylvan Hill. Again, this is the westbound commute. So from Sylvan to almost Cedar Hills Boulevard, that westbound drive is really building. Additionally, the eastbound drive, little looky-loo action here, right? People drive, they slow down, and they see what's going on the other side of the freeway. So that's starting to build as well. 20 minutes, get you from Hills Road to downtown. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, two of our biggest stories this morning locally involve school districts in Southwest Washington. Hundreds of workers, including paraeducators and technology specialists in the Vancouver School District, have voted in favor of a strike. Now, it's not clear yet when that strike will start, but both sides will continue to mediate today to see if they can reach a deal and avoid a strike. Meanwhile, two other school districts are getting back to class. First of all, students in the Evergreen School District going back to class today after the union representing classified workers in that district voted to ratify a new deal just yesterday. And the teacher strike in La Center also appears to be over after their union and the district reached a tentative agreement on Thursday.
All right, 7-day, we're starting to see some blue peeking through out in Lincoln City, and we do believe the valley will clear later today. 74 the high, tomorrow great, 82, get the grass mowed, that's what I've got to do. Then we've got scattered showers on Sunday, including early morning. There could be some heavy downpours mixed in, dry weather to follow.
You could just water your grass and then you'd never have to mow it in the summer. All right, on a serious note, we do have some trouble on the Sunset. That's in the upper left-hand corner of your screen there. That is the westbound commute out near west of Cedar Hills Boulevard, west of 217. So ODOT's calling this a disabled vehicle. Whatever the case is, westbound traffic now is really stacked up all the way back to the Sylvan Hill and building pretty quickly. We'll keep you posted.
And we wrap up this week with some of our best moments from the past week. How about this one?
Are you okay? No.
You know who that is, Chris?
He's really good at that, China.
You know who it is, Chris?
Chewbacca.
So you mean the Rodster?
The Rodster. Oh, yeah, the Rodster. I do the Rodster dance. I won't ever bring that back.
I like the dance groups. That last clip, you had the guys on stage doing a little.
That's what they did?
That's what they did, China?
I don't think that's what I saw.
I'll tell you what I thought. The whole time I was watching, I thought, I hope when this is over, Rod comes out and busts out a dance move.
Oh, yeah.
And my wishes was granted. That's the Rodney.
There you go, man.
China's doing
Wow.
the Rodney.
If that's the Rodney, I'm really impressed.
Father-in-law mows the lawn. Wife does the grocery shopping. Daughter does some cooking there at home for you. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you play the golf.
I do take out the trash every week.
Hey, about it. Can we get a round of applause for Corey Johnson on
Yeah.
Friday?
Good job.
Corey's been with us for a couple of months now,
Yeah.
but primarily doing the weather on the weekend
Yes.
mornings, reporting for us on Sunrise. First time anchoring the show with us here on the Sunrise team, and I'm going to say high five.
Woo!
Yeah.
You
Awesome.
guys made it easy. It was a lot of fun this morning.
Remarkable talent.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually hiring some good people these days at KGW. Thumbs up management. Thank you for joining us here.
You may or may not be here on Monday.
What? I have to go into the office? Okay, gotta go. Office visit coming up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday.